We have no time for this, Furion. What are we doing out here?
Last night in a dream, a great raven spoke to me and summoned me to this place.
We were summoned here as well.
Who are you, Outlanders?
I am Thrall, son of Duratan, war chief of the Horde.
And I am Jaina Proudmoore, leader of the human survivors of Lordaeron.
You are not welcome here.
Peace, priestess. They've come to aid you against the Legion.
It was you in my dream. But who are you to make such an offer to us?
I am the reason for the Legion's return. Years ago, I brought the orcs into this world, and by doing so, I opened a path for the demons as well. For my sins, I was murdered by those who I cared for most. Despite my death, war raged across the lands of the East for many long years, leaving entire kingdoms devastated in its wake. Now, at long last, I have returned to set things right. I am Medivh, the last Guardian. I tell you now, the only chance for this world is for you to unite in arms against the enemies of all who live.
Sorry I'm late. It's just as we feared. Archimonde and his Doomguard are making their way towards the summit. He'll be here any moment.
10,000 years ago, we Night Elves defeated the Burning Legion. Though the rest of the world was shattered, we were left free to live out our immortal lives in peace, bound to the World Tree. We are its protectors, and through it we were granted immortality and power over nature. Now, at last, it is time we gave that power back.
You realize that we will age as these mortals do. Our powers over nature will wane in time.
If pride gives us pause, my love, then perhaps we have lived long enough already. I will proceed to the summit and prepare our defenses there. Whatever comes, my love, remember, our bond is eternal.
Hear me, Night Elves. The time for reckoning has come.
If you can provide our bases with support and keep us from being overwhelmed, Thrall and I will delay Archimonde's ascent.
Your plan is a bold one, girl. Perhaps I have misjudged you, Outlanders. May Elune shine upon you.
To arms, my brethren. To arms, brave orcs and humans. Twilight falls, and the enemy awaits. Something is amiss. The land and I are one.
Goddess, light my path.
What threatens these lands? Has sleep dulled my senses?
Priestess Tyrande, the undead have begun to construct a new settlement. It won't be long before they start attacking our allies.
Pathetic wretches! How dare you! pathetic wretches. It shall be done.
Research finished.
Has sleep dulled my senses?
Someone threatens the
land
wilds.
and I are one.
I'm
The
listening.
goddess calls.
Our allies' town needs help.
Ashra Thoraman
The undead are attacking. Send help.
threatens the wilds. I hear the voice of Elune. The goddess calls. By Elune. Ashra Thoraman. As the goddess wills. I heed the voice of Elune. Immediately. Someone threatens the wilds.
Our time is short.
Make it fast.
Ashra Thoraman.
has awakened.
Research
Your
finished.
move. Someone threatens the wilds.
Research finished. Our allies' town needs
The
help.
goddess calls. Ashra Thoraman.
Insufficient.
I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls.
Your building
Someone
is complete.
threatens the wilds.
Insufficient gold. Research finished.
The goddess calls.
Our allies' town needs help. Gold.
Someone threatens the wilds.
Our strength endures.
Someone threatens the wilds. The goddess calls. So be it. I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls.
Insufficient gold.
Ashra Thoraman. I heed the voice of Elune. Someone threatens the wilds. I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls.
Goddess, light my path.
Someone threatens
In
the wilds.
position.
Ashra Thoraman.
A new dawn.
Someone threatens the wilds. I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls.
Your
By
building
Elune.
is complete.
So be it. As the goddess wills. By Elune. So be it.
A war.
Someone threatens the wild. As the goddess wills. Ashrathoraman.
Goddess, light my path.
I heed the voice of Elune. Ashrathoraman. So be it. Someone threatens the wilds.
Goddess, light my path.
Your
Speak
building
your
is
mind.
complete. Ashrathoraman.
Our allies' town needs help.
I heed the voice of Elune. Someone threatens the wilds.
My path. A war.
Ashrathoraman. The goddess.
Insufficient growth.
Someone threatens the wild.
Research finished.
The goddess calls. Ashrathoraman. I heed the
Make
voice
it
of Elune.
fast.
Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls.
Goddess, light my path.
Ashrathoraman.
Ah, the great our allies' town needs help. Standing guard.
Immediate. Someone threatens the wild. I heed the voice of Elune.
Our warriors have engaged the goddess, light my path.
Someone threatens the wild. Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls. Someone threatens the wilds. I heed the voice of Elune. Ashrathoraman.
Research finished.
I heed the voice of Elune. Ashrathoraman.
Goddess, light my path.
Someone threatens the wilds.
Has sleep dulled my
Ashrathoraman.
senses?
Research finished.
The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls.
Ah, the great outdoors. Goddess, light my path.
Someone threatens the wilds. The goddess calls.
Speak your mind. Are we being invaded? I'm game.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Our allies' town needs help.
By Elune. As the goddess wills. Someone threatens the wilds.
Our allies' town needs help.
Our time is strong.
I heed the voice of Elune.
I await your command.
The goddess
Our allies' town needs help. Is there trouble? Gladly.
Someone threatens the wilds. By Elune. The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune.
Research finished. Goddess, light my path. Ah, the great outdoors.
Someone threatens the wilds. Immediately.
Our allies' town needs help.
By Elune. Immediately. Ashrathoran. I hear the voice of Elune. Ashrathoran. Someone threatens the wild. I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls. As the goddess wills.
The path is clear.
Ashrathoran. Immediately. The goddess calls. Ashrathoraman.
Anudora. At once.
The goddess calls.
Goddess, light my path.
Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wilds.
The land and I are one.
The goddess calls.
In position.
Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls.
Goddess, light my path.
I heed the voice of Elune. Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wilds.
Our allies' town needs help.
By Elune. I heed the voice of Elune.
Goddess, light.
The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune.
Your man.
Someone threatens the wild.
Your man.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Your building is research
The
finished.
goddess calls. Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wild.
Our warriors have engaged with help.
I heed the voice of Elune. Someone threatens the wilds. The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune.
Goddess, light my path.
Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls. Someone threatens the wilds.
I'm awake.
I heed
I'm
the
awake.
voice of Elune.
Of course.
Someone threatens the wilds.
Threatens these
light my
lands.
path.
Ashrathoraman.
Our allies' town needs help. Research finished.
So be it. Someone threatens the wilds. Okalamdor.
Our allies' town.
Anudora. The goddess calls. Ashrathoraman. As the goddess wills. Someone threatens the wild. By Elune.
Our town needs help.
So be it. As the goddess wills.
Goddess, light
The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls.
our researchers' town needs help.
So be it.
getting swamped here. We could use some backup.
Shall be done.
I heed the voice of a lord. Someone threatens the
Our
wild.
allies' town needs help.
Ashrathora.
Goddess, light.
Someone threatens the wild. The goddess calls. As the goddess wills. Someone threatens the wild. I heed the voice of the wind. Someone threatens the wild. I heed the voice of the wind.
Goddess, light.
The goddess calls. Someone threatens the wild.
Our allies'
By
town needs
Elune.
help.
I heed the voice of Elune. Ashrathoraman. As the goddess wills.
An allied champion has fallen.
I
Our
heed the
allies'
voice of
town
Elune.
needs help.
Ah, the
Ashra
great
Thoran.
outdoors.
Goddess, light my path.
Someone threatens the wilds.
At once.
Ashrathoraman.
Our allies' town needs help.
Someone threatens the wilds. Hinduli Rethad. Immediately. So be it. As the goddess
Where
wills.
shall I strike?
By Elune.
Our
Goddess,
allies'
light
town
my
needs
path.
help.
Immediately.
You are very brave to stand against me, little human. If only your countrymen had been as bold, I would have had more fun scouring your wretched nations from the world.
Is talking all you demons do?
Show yourself! Or do you intend to have mortal girls do all your fighting for you?
Our allies' town needs help.
As the goddess wills. So be it.
Priestess, the undead have constructed a new settlement. They are mustering new forces to send at us. Our allies' town needs help.
I heed
Your
the
building
voice of
is
Elune.
complete.
By Elune.
Take your time. Look around.
Someone threatens the wilds. As
Research
the goddess
finished.
wills. Immediately. So be it.
Goddess, light my path.
By Elune. The goddess calls. Immediately. Someone threatens the wilds. So be it. As the goddess wills. Immediately.
Goddess,
As the
light
goddess
my
wills.
path.
The goddess
The
calls.
sleeper has awakened.
Goddess, light my path.
So be it. As the goddess wills. So be it. Immediately. By Elune. As the goddess wills. By Elune.
Goddess, light my path.
Someone threatens the wild.
Ah, the
Ashra
great
Thoraman.
outdoors.
Goddess, light my path.
I heed the voice of Elune. Ashrathoraman.
Can I help you?
The goddess calls.
Research finished.
So be it.
Goddess,
By
light my
Elune.
path. Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
As the goddess wills. So be
The
it.
sleeper has awakened.
Goddess,
By
light my
Elune.
path.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Speak your mind. Standing guard.
Take your time. Look
The
around.
goddess calls. Immediately. As the goddess
Goddess,
wills.
light my path.
By Elun. As the goddess wills. So be it. As the goddess wills.
Goddess, light my path.
So be it.
Goddess, light my path.
I heed the voice of Elun. By Elun.
Research finished.
As the goddess.
We're under attack! Send reinforcements quickly!
Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wilds. By Elun. So be it. The goddess calls. As the goddess wills. Immediately. So be it. Immediately. As the goddess wills.
I am sworn to avenge.
Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wilds. The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elun. So be it. By Elun. So be it. By Elun. Someone threatens the wild. Ashrathoraman.
Our strength is yours.
Someone threatens the wild. Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wild. I hear the voice of Elun. Someone threatens the wilds. Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wilds. Ashrathoraman.
Goddess, light my path.
So be it. As the goddess wills.
Light my path.
So be it. I heed the voice of Elun. Someone threatens the wilds. As the goddess wills. So be it. As the goddess wills. By Elun.
Our warriors
As the
have
goddess
engaged the
wills.
enemy.
By Elun.
Where shall I strike?
As the goddess wills. So be it. Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls. Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls. By Elun. Someone threatens the wilds. As the goddess wills. Immediately. As the goddess wills. Immediately. I heed the voice of Elun. The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elun. As the goddess wills. Immediately. So be it. As the goddess wills. The goddess calls.
Goddess, light my path.
Can I help you?
I heed the voice of Elun.
Take your time. Look around.
Ashrathoraman. By Elun. So be it. I heed the voice of Elune. As the goddess wills. I heed the voice of Elune. By Elune. Someone threatens the wild. So be it. The goddess calls.
Research finished.
Immediately. So be it. As the goddess wills. I heed the voice of Elune. Someone threatens the wilds? Immediately. By Elune. Immediately. So be it.
Anudora!
Immediately. By Elune. Immediately. The goddess calls.
Our allies' town
As
is
the
held.
goddess wills.
Your man
My path,
Someone
my strength is yours. Our time is short.
Ashitoran.
What is nature's call?
The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune. Ashitoran. I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls.
Standing guard.
Someone threatens the wilds? Immediately. Ashrathoraman. So be it.
Ah, the great
As the
outdoors.
goddess wills. So be it.
Goddess
As
light
the goddess
my path.
wills. So be it. By Elune.
Speak your mind. My wait is over.
Can I help you?
The goddess calls. As the goddess wills. Immediately. As the goddess wills. Immediately. I heed the
Our
voice of
warriors have
Elune.
engaged the enemy.
Someone threatens the wild?
Our allies'
As the
town
goddess
is held.
wills. Immediately. By Elune. The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune. As the goddess wills. By Elune. The goddess calls. Someone threatens the wilds? Immediately. So be it. Immediately. The goddess calls.
Goddess
course.
light my path. Goddess light my path.
I heed the voice of Elune. As the goddess wills. So be it. By Elune. As the goddess wills.
The land and I are one.
Our allies'
Someone
town
threatens
needs
the
help.
wild. So be it. The goddess calls. Someone threatens the wild. I heed the voice of Elune. heed the voice of Elune. Ashrathoraman. I heed the voice of Elune.
I am sworn to avenge. Insufficient.
Ashrathoraman.
Sleeper has awakened.
Hello?
Goddess, light
I
my
heed the
path.
voice of
Goddess,
Elune.
light my path.
Anudora, where shall I strike?
The goddess calls.
Of course.
Ashrathoraman.
Can I help you?
I heed the voice of Elune. As the goddess wills. Immediately. By Elune. Immediately.
Ah, the great
By
outdoors.
Elune. As the goddess wills.
Goddess, light
So
my
be it.
path. Goddess, light my path.
As the goddess wills. Someone threatens the wilds. By Elune. Immediately. By Elune. As the goddess wills. By
Sleeper
Elune.
has awakened.
Our allies' town needs help.
As the goddess wills. I heed the voice of Elune.
For Calendar.
Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune. By Elune.
For Kalimdor.
The goddess calls. Ashrathoraman. As the goddess wills. The goddess calls. Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls. Immediately. By Elune.
I'm awake.
Someone
I'm
threatens
awake.
the wilds. As the goddess wills. Immediately. By Elune. I heed the voice of Elune.
Your mana is depleted.
Where shall I
Ashrathoraman.
strike? My path is clear.
In position.
My strength is
I
yours.
heed the voice of
Take your
Elune.
time. Look around.
Immediately. By Elune. Immediately. As the goddess wills.
Speak your mind. Our allies' town needs help.
Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls. Someone has arrived. Ashrathoraman.
Our allies' town needs help.
I'm awake. I'm awake.
I heed the voice of Elune. Ashrathoraman. I heed the voice of
Light
Elune.
my path.
By
Goddess, light
Elune. Immediately. The goddess
Has
calls.
awakened.
As the goddess wills. I heed the voice of Elune. So be it. Immediately. Ashrathoraman.
Goddess,
Make it
light
fast.
my path.
The goddess calls.
Your
Goddess,
mana is
light
my
my
path.
I heed the voice of Elune. By Elune. As the goddess wills.
I am sworn to avenge.
The goddess calls.
Make it fast.
I heed the voice of Elune. Immediately.
Insufficient gold.
Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wilds.
Goddess,
So be it.
light my path. Goddess, light my path. Our allies' town needs help.
The goddess calls.
Your manner is standing guard. Great out into Goddess, light my
The goddess.
Goddess, light my path.
I heed the voice of Elune. I heed the voice of Elune. The goddess calls. Ashrathoraman. By Elune. As the goddess wills.
Our warriors have engaged.
Someone threatens the wild.
Goddess, light my path.
By
Goddess,
Elune.
light my path. Our allies' town needs help.
Thy strength is yours.
Ashrathoraman.
Our gold line is running low.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Insufficient fuel.
Ashrathoraman.
Goddess, light my path.
I heed the voice
Goddess,
of Elune.
light my path.
Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wilds.
Insufficient gold.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Goddess,
The
light
goddess
my path.
calls.
Goddess, light my path.
Ashrathoraman. Someone threatens the wilds. The goddess calls. Someone threatens the wilds.
Goddess, light my path. Goddess, light my path.
The goddess calls. I heed the voice of Elune. Someone threatens the wilds. I heed the voice of Elune. Someone threatens the wilds. Ashrathoraman. The goddess calls. Ashrathoraman. I heed the voice of Elune. So be it. Immediately.
Your man is depleted.
The goddess calls.
Our allies' town needs help.
It shall be done.
I'm awake. I'm awake.
As sleep dulled my senses. Anudora. Ashtherodanador.
Speak your mind.
I heed the voice of Elune.
At once.
Our allies' town needs help. Our gold mine has collapsed.
The goddess calls.
The land and I are one. Anudora.
What is nature's call? Are we being
Our
invaded?
allies' town needs help.
Making trails.
Threatens these lands.
What is nature's call?
The land and I are one. For Kalimdor. Ashtherodanador.
How dare you!
Hi! Gladly.
Has sleep dulled
What
my
is
senses?
nature's call?
The land and I are one.
Our allies' town. An allied champion has fallen.
Ashrathoraman.
Make it fast.
Someone threatens the wilds.
Our allies'
I
town
heed the
needs
voice of
help.
a loon.
In position.
Someone threatens the wilds. The goddess calls.
You orcs are weak and hardly worth the effort. I wonder why Manaroth even bothered with you.
Our spirit is stronger than you know, demon. If we are to fall, then so be it. At least now, we are free.
You'll actually hurt me. Are there none left to stand against the Legion? This is almost too easy. If I had known that this mortal resistance would be so weak, I would have launched this invasion centuries ago.
Our allies' town needs help.
Someone
Our
threatens the
warriors
wilds.
have engaged the enemy. Priestess, the undead have constructed a final settlement. They are mustering new forces with every passing moment. Your building is complete.
I heed the voice of a loon.
Goddess, light my path.
Ashrathoraman.
Goddess, light my path. Your building is complete.
Someone threatens the wilds.
Your building is complete. Goddess, light my
I
path.
heed the voice of a loon.
Our sacred grove is being desecrated.
Someone threatens the wilds. I heed the voice of a loon. By a loon.
Make it fast. I am sworn to avenge. Your building standing
The
guard.
goddess calls.
Your building is
In position.
complete. Our sacred grove is being desecrated.
Come, you night elves! Where is the fire and the passion with which you fought so long ago?
Goddess, light my path. Your building
Our
is
sacred
complete.
grove is being desecrated. Our sacred grove is being desecrated.
Goddess, light my path.
Archimonde's victory here has made him overconfident. He will not see the trap that I laid for him until it is too late.
At last, the way to the World Tree is clear. Witness the end, you mortals. The final hour has come.
The Outlanders held him back as long as they could. Were you successful in planning the summit's defense?
Yes. Now our victory is assured.
The roots will heal in time, as will the entire world. The sacrifices have been made. Just as the orcs, humans, and night elves discarded their old hatreds and stood united against a common foe, so did nature herself rise up to banish the shadow forever. As for me, I came back to ensure that there would be a future, to teach the world that it no longer needed guardians. The hope for future generations has always resided in mortal hands. And now that my task is done, I will take my place amongst the legends of the past.